I'm sorry, but that's just not true. It's not true. The video that I referenced in that video was a Latino man making that video, telling people that we're also Latino to call immigration on friends and family members that didn't have documented status. I know it's easy to just blame the white leftists, but the problem that you guys are going to have with that narrative is that the numbers don't back you up. And the facts don't back you up. And it's not just comments. That video's comment section, because it's a viral video, was filled with Latinos laughing about it, saying that they were gonna join in it, saying that they did it the right way, and videos. So it wasn't just comments. So I know that some of you were gonna be like, oh, it's probably a white person like pretending to be a Latino. Like, there's so much cope happening right now. I've seen a ton of videos of Latino liberals engaging in this type of rhetoric. I just feel like this is always what happens. Whenever there's a Democrat or a liberal or even somebody on the left that fucks up, it's always, always, always the reactionary response to run to identity as a way to explain it. But Trump's win was decisive. Mr. Trump made significant inroads with Latino voters in 2020, and in this election, he continued to grow his margins in counties with large populations of Hispanic residents. Also shifts to the right in counties with large populations of Black and Native Americans. Here they show you what the increase was in counties across the United States. Native American majority counties by plus 10 points and Black majority counties by plus 2. And I'm sorry to have to say this again, but the reason why Democrats love to blame everything on identity politics is because that means that they don't have to change anything fundamental in their platform. They don't have to self-reflect, and they don't have to change the way they run elections, which is very convenient for them and their consultants. And of course, I would never say that her race and gender didn't play a role. I'm not a class reductionist, but I'm also not a race reductionist. But Democrats have done such a good job of boiling everything just down to identity that when they lose an election that they should have won, you'll blame your neighbor. Or just being in denial and saying that it didn't happen, rather than actually asking those people what it is that made them move their votes away from Democrats. I am not saying, or would ever say, that Kamala Harris being a Black woman did not contribute to her uphill battle. A fact that she knew and the Democrats knew when they picked her. But if anyone is going to live in copium land and say that the only reason why this happened was because of white people, white leftists, white women, you're in serious denial. And that's going to be a problem if we try to come up with solutions if you're not diagnosing the problem correctly. Which isn't just one reason, it was many reasons. Liberals seem to understand the concept of intersectionality until it comes to losing elections, and then there's no time for that. Then all of a sudden, everybody wants a simple narrative that just explains it one way. It wasn't one thing. It was an intersection of a multitude of things, including, but not limited to, her race and her gender. And ignoring the very real fact that he won with people who make under $50,000 a year across the board. Across the board. He won Latino men outright, which is getting talked about a lot more because he won them outright, but she lost support amongst Latinas too from Biden. Democrats lost support amongst Latino women, even though Harris won them by 22 percentage points, but that is markedly lower than the 39-point lead Biden had in 2020. That's a pretty decent erosion, especially since this was supposed to be the Roe v. Wade election. You need to look at the exit polls and the data that is coming out of this election. He actually lost ground with white women and white men. Now, of course, there are crosstabs and all of those things, and we can get more into the data if you want to. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not the narrative that some of you guys are trying to push. And part of the narrative it seems that you're trying to push is that all the vitriol that's coming out from liberals right now is somehow actually just white leftists, which is belied by the facts and our eyes. And this is the reason why the Democratic Party is fucking dead. It is dead because that is the only thing you guys want to chalk it up to. And there's a lot more going on that Democrats just don't want to confront. Which brings me all the way back to the point of the original video you left this comment on, which is to demonize every single person in the electorate that didn't vote the way you wanted to instead of looking up.